Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show with Jim Hacking and Daniel Axelbaum. It's June 9th, Wednesday, coming to you live from San Diego. Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is the one day I'm working this week. We're on vacation here in San Diego, as you know, and we've had a great trip so far. We went to the Padres game last night. They got their brains beat in by the Cubs, but the stadium's beautiful. The weather's beautiful. We had a nice day on the beach, and it looks like it's going to be sunny the rest of the week, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, awesome. I was worried when you sent some cloudy videos.
Yeah, it was cloudy the first couple days, but they said it's going to be sunny here and out. What are you hearing back at the office?
Not much. I mean, you say you're on vacation, and yet we're messaging you and emailing you all the time. So I don't think attorneys really take much time off.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last time when I was in Florida, I was negotiating that deal with DC, and then the time before that, I was studying for that California bar, which I never took. So I am actually taking dedicated days where I'm not doing anything. I didn't look at my messages or anything. Amani was talking to some people yesterday and Monday, but hopefully tomorrow and Friday we'll be able to just relax and hang out at the beach.
Okay, well, awesome.
All right, well, it looks like we got some people waiting in line, so let's go ahead and get to it. Remember, everybody, if you want to come on the show, you got to be on camera. If your camera is not on, we're most likely not going to call on you.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. How can we help you?
Yes, I had emailed you yesterday, but I'll go over it. I came to the United States in April 2001 with my family under my dad's. He was on H-1B, I was on H-4. Due to some delays in the H-1B processing, I was 13 at that time. But the process was taking too long. By the time it would get processed, I got 21. So I had to go on a student visa. Then I had to get OPT done, and then I started interning at a medical lab. And I got a job over there, and they agreed to sponsor me. So during my second term of the second extension of the H-1B, the second 3-year period, before they would file for my I-140 and labor certification, I got married during that time. And during this time, by the time my labor certification and the I-140 would come, the H-1, the second term would be out, would expire. So I had to go on a visitor visa for 6 months. Then the lawyer said it would come, but it still didn't come. So I had to before the expiration, I had to leave the country because, I wanted to do everything properly, didn't want to overstay my welcome or anything. And then I ended up coming to Canada, and I got married in the US to my wife, who's a Canadian citizen by birth. So I've been here, and now recently my I-140 got approved, my labor certification got approved. But I'm waiting for the stamping here. And I also have some questions regarding the DS-160 form, which is a little confusing to me. So one of the questions was about the 10 printed. I remember, I don't recall, or maybe I did give fingerprints when I was under my when I was on H-4 under my dad. Now, if I answer that question incorrectly, will that be a problem?
No.
Okay, and the other question, does my wife need a separate DS-160 form?
You're going to try to get her an H-4?
Yes.
Yes, your wife needs a separate DS-160. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was told, but I was a little confused because even if she's a Canadian citizen, she needs one, right?
Does she want to have status in the United States beyond 90 days?
Yes.
Then she would need a separate DS-160.
Okay. And okay, the other thing was while my H1 while my labor certification and everything was being filed, I did my master's. So do I need to go ahead and mention that on the DS-160 form as well?
Of course.
Okay, because I'm sponsored under my bachelor's, so I don't want that to cause issues. Saying you're sponsored under your bachelor's, but you have a master's, and then it goes to the entire pay. Like, how they have to get the pay and labor certification and everything approved. I don't want to cause any confusion there.
Does the DS-160 ask what degrees you have?
Yes.
So if and you already have your master's degree?
Yes.
So if you didn't list your master's degree, that would be lying to the federal government.
Okay, so it's better to just go ahead and mention it. Okay, and okay, the other thing is I'm currently on an extended leave from my work, and I'm waiting for my stamping. Is there any way I can my appointment is in October, end of October. Is there any way I could request an emergency appointment to the embassy?
What's the emergency?
Like, I have been out of work since last March. So
you can try.
Okay.
Financial difficulty is a basis for expediting, but I'm not a big believer that it actually even happens. So, but you can certainly try.
Okay, because my mom and my brother are still in the US, and everything is just fallen on my brother. My mom doesn't work due to old age and having joint issues and stuff. So I was wondering if I could try that.
You can always try.
Okay. Now,
hey buddy, Alex, you've asked a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to move on to the next person. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Alex. I mean, Daniel, Mani used to teach immigration law at the law school, and she would ask me help coming up with hypothetical exam questions. Old Alex had about 30 different issues that he listed in his immigration history and his current status. So that was good. All right, great. Thanks to Alex for that. All right, let's go to RJ.
Hello, RJ. Welcome to the show. You're muted.
Are you able to hear me now?
We got you now. Yeah.
Thank
How can
you,
we help you?
Thank you for this opportunity. I've been trying to reach Jim Hacking from a long time. I have watched his videos on U visa. So my situation is I'm currently on H-1B visa, and my wife is on H-4 EAD. She just got EAD and looking for jobs. And I applied for U visa back in 2016. And looks like it's moving now, and people are getting approvals, and I'm the primary victim, and the second victim already got his approved. He applied 3 months before me, so I'm waiting now, and once my U visa is approved, I will lose my H1 and my wife will lose her H4. That's my question.
Generally, you can only be in one immigration status at a time. That's right.
So she will lose her H4 status here and the EAD as well?
Yeah, I think she would. I mean, I'd have to research it to make sure, but yes, I think generally that's what would happen.
Okay, in order to make her to stay in the status, what are my options? She is not eligible for a U visa with me because when that happens, we are not married.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could try to do a change maybe to F1 or something.
I-539 for her as a EU dependent, is that an option?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I've done very little U visa work, so I don't know the answer to that. You might want to check with someone who specializes in U visas. I think in our office we've handled 2 or 3 in the last 13 years, so I'm not your man for that.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, RJ. All right, that was RJ. Remember, everybody, if you want to come on the show, you got to be on screen. So let's go to Carabel.
Hi, can you hear me? I think. All right, thank you. I have one question. I have completed filing my wife's and my 1 year and 2 months child process at the NVC. I already filed and finished. They sent me an email that confirms that I have completed every fees and everything on September 2020. And then I was on the waiting list to be scheduled for the appointment in Addis Ababa. And then in the meantime, I updated my citizenship. I filed the process with my green card, but on October 2020, my citizenship was updated so that the visa type was changed to from FB1 to IR1, which is immediate relative. So they said I have to refile for my 1 year child again, and then I called back to the National Visa Center if I have to do that. If I have really to do that, then they said since you have updated your thing after you finish the process, it will be seen on the embassy. So I am not sure what I have to do right now.
Right. So just let me give everyone who's watching a little bit of background, and then we can talk specifically about your situation. So
Okay.
when someone applies for their spouse as a green card and there's a child involved, they only have to file one I-130 because the child is listed as a derivative on the I-130 for the wife. If someone applies as a citizen for their spouse, they have to file a separate I-130 for the child. They're not included. I don't know why immigration does that, but they do that. It's really weird. So it's almost like green card holders get treated better than citizens in that you got to pay the extra filing fee and do the extra I-130 for the children of citizens, not the children of green card holders. So generally, it doesn't surprise me that since you became a U.S. citizen, that they're asking you to file an I-130 for the child. But I haven't researched myself whether that has to happen. I think logically it does. I think that if you want to take advantage of your spouse now being an IR, an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, then taking advantage of that carries with it the consequence of having to file an I-130 for the child. I've had plenty of people naturalize while they were sponsoring their spouse for a green card when they started as a green card holder, but I haven't had the situation that you have where there's a child attached to the green card application for the spouse. So what I would say, it's something that I can find out really easily. I don't have my immigration books because I'm here in San Diego, but if you email Daniel, and I'll put Daniel's email in the chat. If you email Daniel, he can forward it to me, and when I get back next week, I can look it up and let you know if they are correct. I think that they probably are, but I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
All right, great.
All right.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You got it.
All right.
So Jim, I guess I have a follow-up to that. If his wife gets approved, I mean, his son, I just noticed from my notes, is less than 2 years old. So would they have to wait for to start that whole process over? And then what would happen to her visa, I guess?
You got to you sort of have to slow down wife's case and speed up son's case. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't have to do a whole new I-130 with USCIS, but I suspect that he does.
Okay, and you can slow down his wife's case potentially or something?
Yeah, it depends how far along she is, but generally, if you ever stop something at USCIS, at the Department of State, you usually have a year to follow up with them. So as long as you don't let that year pass, you can sort of slow walk the wife's case to let the son's case catch up.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, Andrew might know more about this too. We can check with him too.
Hi, Justin. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm all right. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. Thanks. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I had a I-130. It was approved on March 15th of this year, and I received the approval letter from USCIS, but I haven't received anything from NVC. And on the USCIS app, currently it says it's been 86 days since the case was approved. I reached out to both agencies, NVC and USCIS, and basically I'm getting the runaround from NVC, I was told that it takes at least 60 days for them to process whatever. When I call USCIS, initially the approval letter that they sent, it says that um, they have sent over to the file to the NVC, and something about 45 days. And if I didn't hear from NVC, I should contact them. I did send in an inquiry with the NVC research team, and the only thing I was told in the email was that they will get in contact with UCIS to find out where is the case and whatever. But it's like from both agencies, I'm getting like one is taking the blame, and the one nobody's taking the blame. That's the thing. So like in the middle of, I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, so
So
you're at 80,
long.
you're at 87 days. I'd give them 33 more days before I really get worked up about it. I've seen cases take up to 4 months to get processed properly. So I would think, Justin, that your case is going to get processed here pretty quickly once it gets
Because the thing I don't understand is, like, it's been approved already. I got the letter, so what's taking so long just to transfer a case, you know?
It's not that your particular case is taking so long. It's just that there's a bunch ahead of you at the NVC.
Uh, because when I spoke to the USCIS officer yesterday, and she told me that this coming Tuesday would make 90 days, and if I didn't receive anything, I should reach back out to them, and I guess they will assign an officer to find out what's happening or where the case is. So
You should totally do that.
I guess I'm just gonna wait until Tuesday to see what happens. But it's just kind of frustrating that it's just being drawn out, drawn out, drawn out, drawn out. So
For sure.
um
For sure.
um I mean, you're one of the best, so you know that's why I called to get your advice. So I'll just go from there.
Well, let us know. Let us know if you don't hear back from them. We'll be back on next Tuesday and Thursday. Just let us know what they say when you call back after 90 days.
Okay, I will. All right, thank you.
All right, bye, Justin. See you,
Thanks,
buddy.
Justin.
All right, thanks.
Oh, Daniel, we got a nice comment from a friend of the show and a friend of the firm welcoming me to San Diego, Sambaroth. Always good to hear from Sambaroth, and Sambaroth also wished my dad a happy birthday. So my dad turned 80 on Monday. That was sort of fun. And each of the family members wrote up a little poem or story about my dad, and we're going to put it all in a little book and give it to him towards the end.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And you're in your father's house, right?
I live in my father's house. Yeah,
that's great.
We bought it a while back. Yeah. All right.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, Rocky.
Hi,
Hi,
how are
Rocky.
you?
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. So my question is, so I got my biometric appointment for N400 after a year. I applied N400 in 2020 in last April. So now I got my appointment after a year, and I'm moving from current state to new state. So my question is, what should I do? Shall I keep this appointment? I surely change my address once I'll be moved over there to the new state. So I'll come back to this same office and do my appointment. What should I do?
When are you moving?
We are moving in
Day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
So I would take your letter today and go down and get fingerprinted and say, hey, look, I'm moving. I want to keep my case going. Can I get fingerprinted early? And if they're not too busy, they'll let you do your biometrics early.
So, Jim, you are saying walk-ins are high. You are saying walk-in is possible in advance walk-in?
Yeah, I mean, depends how busy they are, but generally, yeah. If I mean, because what field office are you at?
So, Jim, basically, we are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we are moving to Frederick, Maryland. So last week we got the letter for the July 1st biometrics appointment, July 1st. And now within 10 days, we will definitely follow the law and we will change our address in Frederick, Maryland. But we have a concern that if this July 1st appointment is gone away, then our process will be delayed. But the good idea, thank you so much. You told us that we can go in advance and we can check with them rather than calling them, right? Don't bother about getting into calls, right?
No, and if you can't pull it off, if they won't take you in this next day or two, when you move over to Frederick, Maryland, change your address right away, and then take your fingerprint notice to the field office in Baltimore and say, "Hey, I've got this fingerprint notice. I just moved to Maryland. Can you guys squeeze me in?" They almost always let you do it. Even during COVID, we've had people, a lot of people don't know that, but when you get your biometrics notice, you can always try to go early, and you can actually always go late. As long as you go 87 days after the date, you should be fine. And the nice thing is these people are not government employees; they're private contractors, so they're actually nicer to people, and they act more like normal human beings. So that's a great little hack, an immigration hack, is that take that biometrics notice, and I mean, if they're too busy, they might not take you, but it's certainly worth it for you guys, because then
Worth to try.
not only do you not lose the July 1st date, but you get your fingerprints a month, 2 weeks early, which means everything starts 2 weeks earlier. So I would do that.
So I'm gonna try here also. If they don't take me here, I will try in Baltimore also. Both the places. Is that okay?
Yeah. Like one time I had a client, he was a violinist. He played the violin, and he was down in Texas for a bunch of concerts, and his fingerprint notice came for St. Louis. I just sent him the fingerprint notice, and he went in Houston and said, "Hey, I just happened to be here in Houston. Can you guys squeeze me in?" They said, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
Sweet. So a quick one: a green card, driving license, and biometrics letter. These three documents we are carrying. Do you think any fourth document will also be needed to go there?
Maybe your passport.
Okay. So green card, driving license, Indian passport because we are from India, and then the biometrics letter. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
But we should not do that thing, right? The idea of not changing the address, even of go to Maryland and come back here on 1st July, and after 15th July you change it. We should not do that, right? That is a bad
No,
idea.
don't do that. No.
Okay, sweet. You have anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you so much, Jim. You are excellent.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your
Okay.
help.
Thank
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay, don't forget we have an office in DC now, so if you help, let us
Yeah,
know.
Yeah,
yeah.
we came to know later on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We will
Thank
get
you
in
so
touch in
much.
future. Yeah.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
guys.
You're so great.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Yeah. I always find it funny when people apologize when they say, "I didn't know about you earlier." That's fine. And you don't have to feel bad, or like they say it sort of apologetically.
Yeah. I have a quick question. Oh, well, I'll ask you after. Hi, Tunex. How are you? Welcome to the show. You're muted, sir.
Okay.
There we go. How can we help you?
Yeah, I sent an email earlier, and the intake specialist said she sent my complaint to one of the lawyers. I don't think that is so. What happened was back in 2014, I and my siblings we were invited over to USA. My uncle is a veteran in the U.S. Army, and we got to US. We were approved the visa. We got to US, and during the course of our stay, we had discussions and whatever what we were facing in Nigeria back at home, and we were affected back then. And he said that was including followed up and applied for asylum for three of us, me and my younger siblings, my sister and my brother. So we were approved, and back then we continued life. We started with school, high school, and I even had my SSN, all of us, and working permit that I did work. But in like 2016, there was a day he called us. He asked where we wanted to go for like vacation. He asked if we wanted to go to Nigeria or Ghana. And we picked Ghana because we knew that we had asylum and we weren't supposed to like come back to Nigeria. I was like 16, and he agreed that we were going to go to Ghana. We had a connecting flight that stopped at Frankfurt in Germany. Then the next flight landed in Nigeria at Lagos, and we were surprised. And I was like asking what's going on, why we're back in Nigeria, and he said we're gonna pick one of his family members, something like that, that's gonna join us on the trip, and we're gonna travel to Ghana the next day. You get so. while we were at the airport, he noticed the luggage was missing. So we had to back at Lagos for like a couple nights, maybe 2, 3 nights. And they told him that it's gonna take like 2 weeks for them to find the bag and get it back to him. So he said during the stay, he took us back to our mom in Nigeria, where she was at, and we stayed there with my mom for like almost a month. Day to it being a month, he sent my mom a message that he wasn't coming back to pick us up, just like that. And he never gave us the asylum documents, just our Nigerian passports. And we've been in Nigeria since 2016 till now. So I don't know how it's gonna be like. What is our status right now? Whether we like cancelled and what's possible that we can go back there.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I did not follow that at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
I hear a lot of crazy things.
It's
I hear a lot of crazy things every day. Something like this, we would need to look at all the paperwork and sit down with you and go over the timeline. So if you
sure.
if you've notified I mean, I thought you were going to say you were there for like 2 or 3 days, not 5 years. So,
No. I'm even actually taking up this case now because I am now an boss and I've been able to like, like I'm capable of trying to see if we can face even though we have to file any lawsuits or whatever, like we can prove everything. That sounds crazy, but that's just what happened in reality.
I mean, I'll tell you that my gut tells me that your case is over and that you lost your asylum. That's what my gut tells me. So,
So
even
how does
even
this
even if somebody took you there and left you there, I think the government would say, "Well, that was 5 years ago. What have you done since then to try to come back?"
So like if we're supposed to come back, like if we want to come back to the United States, are we gonna be affected or not?
I
Because
don't
I
know if
feel
they're
they're
going
going to see
to.
the records.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to let you back in. I think it's very unlikely that they'll let you back in.
So like we cannot do anything about it.
I mean, that's what I'm telling you. Let's look at a phone call, look at the paperwork, and go through the timeline. But I think my answer is going to be, you guys are screwed.
So we cannot have any fight back even against him, my uncle or anybody, like try to show them the proofs and everything.
I don't know, but we'll have to talk about it. Okay,
You said?
we'll have to talk about it. I don't think it's good to talk about it right here on camera.
Yeah, I did send an email to you and I don't know if Danny got the email as well, but you can check
Yeah,
it.
we'll follow up.
Okay, so am I gonna get an email from you guys?
Yeah, soon. I mean, I'm on vacation, so it'll probably be next week. It's not going to be. I mean, there's nothing urgent about your case. You've been out of the United
Sure,
States for
sure.
5 years. If we think we can help, we will certainly try. Okay.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Whoa, that was crazy.
I couldn't follow all that, Jim. I'm glad you could.
Well, basically, he got asylum, and the audio was cutting out. The audio was bad, but basically, it sounds like he and his brothers and sisters got asylum, and then their uncle took him back to what they thought was Ghana, but instead they landed in Lagos, and they took him back to his mother, and he's been there for 5 years ever since.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, and you know that going back to the country from which you got asylum is a big no-no. So
yeah. Hello, Timothy. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. You've been on before. I remember you.
Yes, excellent. I was going to thank Mr. Hacking. He gave me some spot-on advice about an RFE. About 3 weeks later, we were approved. So we went through immigration. So right now we're at the NVC. So I guess my question for you is we've been at NVC for probably about 5 weeks or so now. Our embassy is accepting visas. So I know it's not like some of the other countries that are like at a complete standstill. So when we called last night to check on our case, the agent went a little deeper in. He mentioned that we are in what's called administrative processing. Now, I'm familiar with that more like the embassy level, if maybe the interview, something went wrong there. But he had mentioned that our case went into administrative processing as soon as the case arrived and entered. Now, is that a bad thing at NVC, or do you have any advice for us in that area?
What country is your spouse from?
My fiance, she's in Seoul.
I would. It's unusual. I haven't heard of people going to administrative processing inside the National Visa Center. So have you not even been able to? Have you not received an NVC case number or been able to pay your fees?
We have the NVC case number and the invoice number. The advice that they've been giving us is pretty much just wait. We've started the DS-160, but that's not required until it's at the embassy and the interview is scheduled. So we've started it. We just haven't completed anything yet. Even when we go onto the website and put in the information, it just says, this is what a K-1 fiance visa is. So the only advice we've gotten is just wait. And my question is just in regards of like, when I hear the term administrative processing, that's makes me go a little scared. And especially since it went right in, I mean, we went through the approval process at immigration and now it's administrative processing the moment it was entered into the NVC.
Has your fiance been to the United States before?
She went here to college and she's come to visit me a couple times after I was out there where I met her.
Any kind of law enforcement interaction or anything?
Nope. She's had an FBI background check here in America. Everything came back clean. She was married, but there was a dissolution of marriage. We've included all the certified and notarized paperwork in the immigration. So that was all part of our USCIS case.
Why did she have an FBI background check?
She's very proactive and, just wants to get everything done. She's going above and beyond. She's like me.
I would say $10. That's the reason why the case has been delayed.
Is because she had looked into an FBI background check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anytime, I mean, first of all, that was not a smart thing to do, and I would have told her not to do that. But number two, anytime a case gets delayed, we have to ask ourselves, has this person had any kind of interaction of any sort with the FBI? And obviously that's a pretty mild interaction, but I think I've seen many cases get hung up just because someone like got interviewed by the FBI or talked to the FBI, and I would suspect that might be the reason. I don't know the reason. I would say sit tight, give them a full 90 days, and then figure out what to do next. How long ago did you file the I-129F?
Our NOA one was July 10th of 2020. Our RFE was 23 February, returned on the 27th, received on the 1st of March, and we were approved on 16 April. Arrived at NVC on the 11th of May, case entered and case number received and administrative processing on 13 May.
I mean, I can check in our office, but I've never heard of anybody getting admin processing at the start of the case. That's always something that happens at the back end.
Tracking. They weren't able to really reveal too much information to us. I asked follow questions. Can you tell us why? No, sorry, we can't. There's nothing we can tell us. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I just feel like it's time to start talking to a professional like you and Daniel.
All right. Well, let's just maybe about 5 more weeks, and we can go from there.
Excellent. As always, thank you. Congratulations on your DC office. I'm very close. So, you never want to go to a lawyer, but it's good to know that someone like you is around. So
thanks, Timothy.
How do you feel about the Eagles, Jim?
I'm excited. Got a friend who's got season tickets. I'm just happy we got people back in the stadium, and it's a couple-hour drive, and I'll be there as often as I can this year.
I was telling my daughter yesterday, Daniel, I don't know if you know this, but in the old stadium at Veterans Stadium, they actually had a judge and a jail down in the basement. So they had so many people that would get arrested for fighting and stuff at the games that they would process through. Yeah.
What was it, the notorious 900 section, I think it was?
Yeah, and they also, Santa Claus came in on a helicopter and people threw batteries at him.
Oh, snowballs, everything. We are a top-tier fan base team here, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Awesome. Thanks, Timothy.
Well, good to see you again, Timothy.
Thank you. Hopefully for good reasons.
Yeah, that's right. Only for good reasons.
All right, take care. Great day.
See you, bud.
Bye.
All right, bye. That was a nice guy.
Hello, Dominique. How are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good.
We're doing great.
So I just called the office, and then they told me about the show, so I'm hopping on here to ask a question. Just my quick question is, I recently just got engaged, and I'm bringing my fiance over here on a K-1 visa. But the only question I have is, starting like around August area, I'm moving to a different state, and so I want to file now. But if I'll be living in the other state, should I file in the state that he will be living in as well when he comes? Because we'll be living in that state when he comes. Or does it matter?
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
The nice thing about fiance visas is almost everything happens overseas, right? So there's no reason to wait until August to list another address. Go ahead and get it started now.
And I can do it at the address I'm currently at.
Do it at the address you're currently at, and then update it once you move. Now, the one thing I will say, just as an aside, this is one of the times where it's really good to have an attorney involved in your case, because you always have the attorney as the central place for communication. So when people are moving from place to place, it's sometimes good to have an attorney for something like that. But generally, as long as you'll file, you'll get your receipt notice, and then once you have your receipt notice, you can update your address so that hopefully they'll notify you, or hopefully they'll send further communications to you at the new address.
Okay. Now, so then the question is, whenever we go to, okay, so I don't want to give all my information out on this live chat, so I don't want everyone knowing where I'm at or anything. That's kind of scary. But so I'll be moving next is just to finish my college. So I'll be living with a roommate. Then when we're married, then we'll have our own place. That still doesn't matter if I'm living in it's an off-campus housing, so it's a normal apartment.
So right now you're in City A. And then you're moving to City B for college.
Yes.
And you're going to live with a roommate.
Yes.
And then when your fiance, eventually you're going to move to City C, or just a different part of City B?
Just a different part of City B.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal.
Okay. And then my other question I have is, as far as the income goes, do the people who do all this process, do they check your income and require a certain amount of income for a 2-person household?
Yes, they do. You have to sign that. It's a modified affidavit of support. In a fiance case, it's a little bit easier than the spouse case. But yeah, you're going to need to show that you could support him. And if you're a student, sometimes the students don't have a lot of income, so they just need a co-sponsor. So you'll need a co-sponsor.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Yeah, thanks,
Those
Dominique.
are my questions. Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
One more question. If I get an attorney, do they need to be in the state of which I will live, or can I keep going to the one I want to go to?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, especially on a case like this, again, because everything's done overseas, so you can do an attorney in any of the 50 states.
Oh, perfect. Sweet. Okay, thank you all so much. I hope you have a good day.
Bye, Dominique.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Jim, I have a question on that regarding the mail. So as attorneys, does USCIS send us the letter and the client, or one or the other, or it's hard to say what will happen?
They're supposed to send it. They're supposed to send it to both of us. They usually send it to both of us. But that's the other nice thing is, one is in the moving context, but the other one is that you get 2 copies of everything. So sometimes the client gets it and we don't. Sometimes we get it and the client doesn't get it. So it's good to have options that way.
Yeah. Hello, Dini. This is welcome to the show.
Dini's out.
Dini, are you with us? Rocky's back.
Yeah, Jim, we forgot to ask you one question. We have got only the soft copy of the notice. We don't have hard copy yet. Maybe it will come in few days. Can I print out the soft copy and take that?
When you say soft copy, does that mean you log in and you have a copy of the actual notice, or that you just have an electronic alert or something that says biometrics?
No, we have the login copy, proper copy, the one which will come.
That's fine. Yep.
That's fine. You have anything else now?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
They're trying to take my job, Jim. They want to be here all the time with you.
Well, I saw that he had asked that question on YouTube, and I figured it was easier just to pull him back up on camera.
Okay. Hello, sir. We got you. Yep. It's hard to hear you. We can hear something, so you're not muted, but.
Yeah, the neck stop. Maybe you hear me. My case was approved July
Can't hear him, Daniel. Can you hear him?
Sorry, Dini, we can't hear you.
We'll have to go back to old Dini. Maybe he can get his audio fixed. Nope, Abdul came on and left. We're having technical difficulties getting our guests on today, Daniel.
Hello, Chavez. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much. Hi, Jim. I've been following you for, yeah, I'm from San Diego.
Nice. I'm right
Hi.
here. I'm right here in San Diego.
How can we
Okay,
help
I'm
you?
hearing myself because it's a delayed. Yeah. All right. So I had a question, Jim and Daniel. My case has been pretty complicated, and the problem is that I came here with my family. There's a feedback going on. I don't know how to.
Can you mute your speaker or your audio
too?
Okay, let me just try to settle this thing. I need to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So what's happening is I came here with my family on an R1 religious workers visa in 2016. And my family came on R2 as dependents. And then, of course, I renewed our visas twice. And then after that, we got our I-360 approved. And then in 2019, in the month of August, we filed in our I-485, I-765, I-131. And everything went out really well. I'm just hearing myself.
Is your audio muted, Chavez? And then keep your mic on, but your audio, your output muted.
Audio muted. Okay, let me just.
I can hear him.
Yeah, well, keep your mic on, but your audio, your speakers muted.
It's okay. Just go ahead and tell us what happened.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what happened was that after almost everything went out well, August 2019, we filed in our I-485, I-765, I-131, and then within 2 months' time, we got our EAD cards. By September, October, our biometrics was also done and everything. Now, 11 months in the process, July 2020, my case was being handled by San Francisco. They went and kind of threw it because of the COVID shutdown. San Francisco field office shut down, and they transferred my case to Nebraska. And I don't know who went and goofed it up and messed up my case, and they administratively shut my file of I-485. And they administratively closed the case and refunded the money back to me, saying that it was a priority date issue. It was so stupid because my lawyer, we brought it back out and we said, how can you say that? Because EB4 visas for India is always current all throughout the year. And how can it be a priority date issue? And so having said that, we jogged back and forth. So we sent, somebody advised us on an immigration forum that just send the documents back. It's a kind of it might be a technical error that they have done. So you just send back all the paperwork as it is. We sent that back. They threw the forms back and they said, no, you have to administratively refile all over again because we've refunded you the fees. And so you have to do it in the new version of the form. So I again sent it back after 2 months. In the meantime, things started backlogging so much because of the past administration. Even to issue the receipts was like taking 2 months. So we had to go through that exercise 3 times. My lawyer said, okay, he's never seen anything like this in his 40 years of his practice. And he says, I've never seen anything like this before. So anyway, back forth, in the month of December, I filed my third attempt to send the I-485 forms back. Now the problem was they have been throwing my files back and forth from Dallas, Texas to Nebraska. Nebraska threw it back to Dallas, Texas, and now it's back to Nebraska again. February, they opened up my case again now. So they have initiated my I-485 again in the month of February. Now here's where it is. My I-765 has been pending for the last 1 year, and they are still not issued because I guess it is based out of I-485. And now that they have tied that thing together with the I-765, now it's going to be released, but it's still not come to me. The I-765 is still pending for the last 1 year now. I have gone through my congressman.
Can I ask a question?
Hold on, Chavez.
When you first filed the 45, the very first 45 that you filed, what was the receipt date?
I filed it in. Yeah.
When?
The receipt was 27th of August.
What year?
2019.
That's the very first I-45 that you filed.
Yes. And then 11 months in the process, they shut it down in the month of July on the 2020. After 11 months in the process.
All right, so then you tried your congressman and did all this other stuff to try to get the thing cleared up, right?
Yeah, and in the meantime, what happened was that Duncan Hunter, our congressman, he had to go to jail and all that kind of stuff, you know. We did go meet him. Because I'm a pastor, so I met him on many occasions. And so I went over and met him, and he was more than happy to help me out. But then he went in, and I had a problem. Now the other guy has come in, Darrell Issa. He's come in as the congressman, and he knows me also. So I kind of they have generated a ticket number now.
All right, so Chavez, I'm sure many of our viewers could answer this for me, but I'm going to go ahead and ask Daniel. Daniel, what's Jim going to say about this?
I think you need to sue him, Chavez.
Yeah, I think you need to sue.
Have you heard of the writ of mandamus that Mr. Hacking talks about all the time? The mandamus lawsuit, sir?
Yeah.
I think you need to sue them. Yeah. It's the only thing that's going to work. You have to sue them. And we treated
the point is, I have gone back to the second level officer. I've talked to them twice on the immigration officer level 2. And what they see is, oh, there is a priority date issue. I said, no. My lawyer also went back and said, no, there is a priority date issue. India is always current for EB4. EB4, religious workers visa, is always current all throughout the year. And we went back to check it with the DHS website for August 2019. India was current. I don't know why they're saying India was not current.
I think you need to sue them, friend.
So Chavez, I think we have your phone and email. I can shoot you an email and kind of discuss the lawsuit with you and explain a little bit more. Okay. But, yeah.
I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry they're such morons that they don't know how priority dates work and they don't know how to process cases. I'm sorry you're going through it. I think we can help you. And so let Daniel follow up with you and we'll go from there. Okay, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely. Right, I definitely need your help because I did call your office and I talked to a Chinese lawyer or Chinese lady. She seemed to be talking in a Chinese accent or whatever. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. But there were 2 questions I had. Was when we put a lawsuit, it'll be on my whole family, the price that was quoted to me for the whole family, or just me?
Yep, it'll be everybody.
Okay. Okay.
Well, the price though, I'll discuss the price with you, Chavez. I'll reach out to you and we can go over that.
Yeah, Daniel will call you back this afternoon.
Okay, yeah, please, I would ask you to help me out. I'm also waiting for a level 2 officer to call me. I booked a call. All right, okay, great. Thank you.
Bye, bud.
Appreciate your help, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's got to be so frustrating. I mean, what ones they are. They don't even know what's going on. Oh, look, our old friend Unobus Delgado chimed in. Unobus benefited greatly from a lawsuit, and Unobus is telling Chavez, go ahead and sue Chavez, because that's the only thing that works. All right.
You give him a thumbs up.
Give him the thumbs up. All right. So let's see who is next.
Hello, Abdul. Welcome to the show. You're muted, sir.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hello.
Love your show and love the work, and I've always been watching.
Thanks. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
How can we help?
So, basically, I just came to ask 2 questions. My first question is, I just submitted my AOS package to the USCIS. However, I noticed that it is at the National Benefit Center in Missouri. Uh, is that a problem for me, seeing that it's at the National Benefit Center?
Nope. That's where most cases go to begin.
Okay, great. Also, the next question is that I already have a work authorization card and it's not yet expired. However, I still applied for a new one because I already had a case with the USCIS. So I applied for a new one. Do you think that I'm gonna have to do a biometrics all over again, or they'll just use the old biometrics for the new
Based on
work
what we're
authorization?
seeing these days, if you've done biometrics in the last 5 years, it's very unlikely you'll have to do biometrics again. It's very unlikely.
Okay, great. So that's just basically it. That's only the 2 questions that I was kind of concerned about. Also, real quick, I am located in New York. Will my case take very long because my petition was off marriage-based green card?
You're in Manhattan?
I mean, I'm at the border of Queens and Long Island.
Do you know which field office you'll go to? That Long Island field office is slow, but Manhattan is slower. So you're probably a year till your interview. And if it's in Manhattan, probably 16 months before your interview.
Okay, because my partner did his citizenship, but he went to Long Island to do the swearing in and all of that because I'm at Queens Village, right at the border of Elmont and Queens. So I guess I'll go to Long Island then.
Yeah, and that's not so bad. I mean, it's not the nicest office in the world, but actually we had a really nice officer the last time I was there, and he did approve the case. But Manhattan is just 18 months, 20 months.
Okay.
It's not so bad.
Okay. All right. That's all I was calling about. Thank you so
All
much.
right, thanks, Abdul. Good luck, buddy.
You too.
All right. So we'll go to Julian. I think Julian will be our last caller for the day. Hi, Julian.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
Hi, doing pretty good. Found you recently on YouTube and everything, and wanted to ask you a couple questions. Saw that you were live after my workout. So I recently got a request for evidence regarding my birth certificate from USCIS after applying for my adjustment of status, 485, I-130, all that stuff. Priority date March 22nd, 2021. So a couple months back. I received a request for evidence regarding my birth certificate. I was born in Brazil, and I have 2 last names: my mom's maiden name and my dad's name also as my last name. However, I'm a French citizen, and when I came to America, I came through the visa waiver program as a French citizen. But on my French passport, my last name is only my dad's last name. I don't have the my mom's last name in my name also. So France has a different last name for me than Brazil, for example, because they don't take the mother's name into account. So my birth certificate from Brazil doesn't, the last name has two last names as compared to my French passport that has only one last name. So my question would be, do you believe that the birth certificate request for evidence would be due to the fact that that the last names don't match and that's why they're requesting maybe a different birth certificate or something, or maybe they just lost mine?
No, I think it's what you said. I mean, I'd have to look at the request for evidence. See, but here's the thing you have to understand about requests for evidence is that they don't always tell you why they're asking, and they don't always tell you what they think is wrong. Because what happens is when your packet arrived at USCIS, it got opened up by some contractor. It got opened up by some contractors, and they assigned a case number to it, and then they start going through everything, and they're saying this doesn't all match. So I think you're going to need to walk them through in writing why your name doesn't match. I mean, did you check the visa reciprocity table for?
Yeah, so I looked at that, and I have an attorney. I was a student of a college here in Las Vegas, so I get a free immigration attorney automatically through the school and everything. So I have them taking care of my case. But he's on vacation a lot of the time, so I haven't been able to talk to him as much as I would like to. I mean, luckily I didn't pay, so in a way it kind of helps out. You know, I can't be too mad. But for the most part, I try to keep up on my case as much as possible myself, because I'm the kind of person where I have to like make sure I have as much control of everything as possible to make sure that everything is going the way I expect. But I sent in the correct birth certificate and everything. The only thing I thought about that I was like, hey, maybe I could do this instead, because when I talked to the attorney, the way we applied is he said you entered the country through the visa waiver program with your French last name. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's apply for your papers using your French information, not your Brazilian, because you came in through as a French person. So use just the Calfean that you see, not the Gomez Calfean. That even though it doesn't match a birth certificate, which I think in hindsight might have not been the best way of going about it.
That's a bad. Yep, you've identified the issue. That's exactly the issue, because what they want to know is, does the name on the I-130 and the I-40 match on the birth certificate? That's the problem.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking too. So what I did is I contacted I did a lot of research, and I contacted the consulate of France in Los Angeles, and was able to get information regarding getting a French birth certificate from them that would have my French last name instead, and possibly providing that to USCIS instead. Would that help, or would that mess things up?
I'm generally open to that as an approach, but I don't think that's all you should do. I think you have to explain. I think you have to explain everything that you just explained to me in numbered paragraphs. Walk them through why what happened, and then I'm down with you getting a French birth certificate, but they're always going to be governed by the one that was generated at the time of your birth.
I understand.
And so I think that's okay to do that with the French consulate, but the bigger thing is explaining why everything doesn't match.
Yeah, because when I talked to the French, because I didn't know that I could have I didn't know I had a French birth certificate generated for me due to my dad being a French citizen, because I was born in Brazil, obviously, but I got citizenship from France due to my dad. So after contacting them the other day, they went with me through the process of requesting a French birth certificate, and it's a dematerialized one. It's only online now to France because they don't do the paper ones anymore, really. Especially because I'm from 1999. So after talking to them, I was able to go through the process, and I went through the French portal, translated every single web page to English so I could understand it a little bit, because I don't speak a lick of French at all, and was able to apply for a replacement birth certificate. And it says that I should be receiving it within the next 10 days online if they can find it on file and everything. So hopefully it's all good with that. But I'll go ahead and take your word on that, and on top of sending the French birth certificate in, also explain as to why my names don't match from Brazil and France due to the last name situation with France not taking into account the mother's last name. Luckily, I was still able to get, I literally right before the RFE came through, I got a biometrics appointment. So I have my biometrics coming up literally on this Friday. So I'm gonna still go do that regardless and get that taken care of. And then as soon as I get this French birth certificate, if everything goes well, fingers crossed, go ahead and send everything in, that French birth certificate, and send in the explanation like you said. So I sincerely appreciate all your help with that.
You got it, Julian. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care, my man. All right, Daniel, that'll do it for today. We had a lot of viewers, a lot of questions, a lot of chat questions. It'd be nice if we could figure out a way to do those chat questions, but we've got too much going on when we're on camera.
Yeah. Well, this was fun, Jim. Thanks for having me again. Hope you have a good day out there.
Yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday at our usual time, Tuesday at noon Central. Thanks, Daniel.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.